Hi everyone. In this lecture, we're going to be talking about ArrayList methods. So this is the list of the most common methods in ArrayList. The first one is add value. So basically, this method will add or append a value at the end of the list. Remember that when you create an ArrayList for the first time, it is empty, and then you keep adding more and more elements. Now, as you can see, there's two types. There are two types of add. So when you add a value, by default, you add in at the end of the list. But sometimes you may want to add a specific index. Let's say you want to add a value or number at index 2. So in this case, all the elements from index 2 all the way to the end, they have to shift to make a room for the new elements. So you may want to use the second type. Okay. Clear basically removes all the elements of the list, so it becomes empty again. Index of basically returns the location of the value. So if it's not there, then it's going to return -1. Get basically returns whatever elements. For example, if you put list.get0, it will return the element, the number, or whatever element you have at that specific index. Remove index. So index is the location. So remove will basically remove and at the same time return the value at a given index. So it will remove it, but you have the option to save it if you want to, because that's a return method. And when you remove an element, because there will be a gap, then the shifting will happen, will take place. So all the elements to the right of that element to be removed will shift to the left. Set basically will change an existing element with a new element or with new value at specific index. Okay, and then size returns the number of elements in the list. And of course, toString will return the string representation of the list. So let's have an example here. So let's say we have an array list. Integer. We're going to call it values. Integer. So by default, it is empty. And before we do that, let's make sure we import the array list. Import Java util. You can put array list, or if you want to import the entire package, just put asterisk. But if I print the array list now, since it is empty, it will show only the square bracket with nothing inside. And the size is 0. And then you can add more elements. So values.add 10. And then I can just copy and paste. So I have 10, I have 8, I have 12, I have 0, and then I have, let's say, 15. Okay, so now if I print the element, it will show me all the elements I added in the same order they were added or they were entered. Okay, now to access an element, we use the method get. So for example, if I want to see what is the first element, so I will put get 0. That means the first element. I return the number 10 because that was the first element here. Okay. Now, what about if you want to return or you want to access the last element? I'm going to put get values that size -1 because that was the last. That is the last. That's the index of the last element, which is 15 in my case. Okay, so that's get. Now, if you want to change, let's say by mistake I tapped 0, and it's supposed to be, let's say 9. Okay, so I need to know the location. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put here values set So I'm going to put 3, comma 9. That means change the value at index 3, whatever that element might be, whatever value, and then change the value to 9. So you don't have to specify the element to be removed, just the location. So, and then remember, this set method is a return method. That means I can save the removing elements if I want to. Now let's print the array list after this change. So we're going to see the change taking place. So there's no 0 now, it's 9 instead. Okay, so that's add, that's set. Also, you can remove. So let's say I want to remove the first element. Remove. So if you put remove 0, that means remove the element at index 0, which is 10. So now all the elements to the right, like 8, 12, 9, will shift to the left. So 8 will become at index 0. It will move from index 1 to 0, 12 from 2 to 1, and so on. So now if I want to print, it will show me the elements shifting to the left and also removing the number 10. So number 10 is not there anymore. Also, I can save it if I want to. So I can put, for example, remove equal. If I want to print it later, I can do that. I can remove, even though it was removed from the list, it's not in the list anymore, but I saved it in a variable. So now I still have number 10 saved. If I want to, if I don't need it, then you just call the method remove. You don't have to save it. So we talked about get and add and set and remove. Also, we have clear. So if I want to just remove all the elements, I can just put clear. So clear removes all the elements from the list. So now if I typed or if I print the array list values, it will show me empty brackets. That means there is no more elements in there. Okay. So this is the most common methods of the array list. Okay. There is one more if you want to sort the elements. So if you want to sort the elements, then you can use collections that sorts. Okay. Before I do that, let me make sure I don't want to clear them because I want to have some values in there. So now if I want to sort them, you can put this collections with S that sort, and then you put the name of the array list inside the parentheses, which is in this case values. And then I'm going to print to see if the elements are in order. Number 10 was removed. So as you can see right here, 8, 9, 12, 15, they are in order. So collection that sorts, collections with that sort will sort them out in order. And then if you have a string, it will sort them out in alphabetical order. Okay, so this is the main ArrayList method. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lecture.